Well, here we are. It's Monday, March 17th, 2025, better known as St. Patrick's Day. It feels like I was just here for the noon hour of madness and mayhem. Victor had a blast yesterday from what it looks like at the Poppy Show in Salt Lake City at the Complex. Same with a bunch of our listeners. Shout out to loyal listener Vortex for getting footage of Victor on stage doing his little stage announcement. A huge thank you to Poppy and her people as well for allowing for Victor to even be on the stage, 200 miles away from where we broadcast. Victor also interviewed her, so I'm excited to hear how that went for the two of them. I know he was very excited not only to see her live, but to do that as well. I'm sure that's awesome. I mean, it's really, really cool. I'm sure he'll play that whole interview on tomorrow's morning show. St. Patrick's Day used to be so much fun as a kid. Now it's barely a holiday. At least to me. I was listening to a morning show that broadcasts in Los Angeles, and they had two of their DJs, I feel weird even saying this, butt chug a variety of beers. Something I couldn't imagine posting on social media here. How much trouble we'd get in if we were actually to do something like that would be through the roof. If you're planning to drink, celebrate St. Patrick's Day tonight, make sure to get a ride. Don't be that dumb you-know-what who decides to drink and drive, potentially get into a wreck, injuring, or even worse, killing yourself and or others. I remember St. Patrick's Day back in elementary school when almost all holidays were actually celebrated in a fun way for the kids, We'd get back from recess or lunch and we'd see the room was just completely trashed. And the teacher would say something like, "Oh, the leprechaun came in, destroyed the place, but it looks like he left gold coins, a.k.a. chocolate, everywhere." I think one year we had green milk and those store-bought four-leaf clover cookies. At my parents' house, we would hunt down all the chocolate gold coins around the house. I should just get myself a pack of those chocolate coins, put them in the ice cream that I got from Culver's last night. Celebrate the holiday that way, right? I had the corned beef and cabbage over the weekend. Bought that meal kit from Grocery Outlet. Surprisingly, did really well with preparing it. By that, I mean following the directions on the package there and put it in the Instant Pot, the meat/stew option for 35 minutes. Turned out spectacular. That was good. I had the leftovers yesterday. Enough of my chit-chat here. If you want to get a hold of me, you can call me up at 208-535-1015. Peaches Pit Party. We'll be right back here on K-Bear 101. So we have started another concert ticket giveaway. If you missed out on your opportunity last week to win tickets to go see Seether, POD, and Nonpoint at the Mountain America Center on Sunday, May 18th, well, you can win tickets to go see Papa Roach, Rise Against, and Underoath at the Maverick Center coming up here soon, as a matter of fact, on April 3rd, which I believe, let me see, what day of the week is that? Let me get my cursor on the calendar. Where is the cursor even at? There it is. April 3rd, when is that? That's a Thursday. I mean, you can have an extended weekend, go to Salt Lake, go see the show. I don't know, spend the Friday in Salt Lake City again, drive back that day. Whatever you want to do. But we're giving away tickets to that show, and we're not doing it just by having you sign up through the app. I mean, you could sign up through the app as a little bonus entry into the contest, because we are going to set some tickets aside for people who sign up within the K-Bear, Alt, and Cannonball apps. If you sign up within all three, those are your three entries into the drawing for those tickets. But we're primarily giving these tickets away on the air. And the way that we're going to do it, if you haven't heard the promo, if you haven't really paid attention, if you've been busy, whatever it may be, we're having people Papa Scream the Weather. I think Jade came up with a better name for it. I think it was Papa Weather Report as a last resort. Kind of has a ring to it that way. But what you got to do is listen for that cue to call. Not right now. I'll do it at some point this afternoon. Listen for that cue to call. Be caller 15 at 208-535-1015. And then no matter where you're at, whatever you're doing, you're going to have to scream out as loud as possible your weather update. It doesn't have to be exact with the numbers and all of that. It just has to be your brief weather update. You got to scream as loud as possible. Sort of like, well, you can scream like a regular scream. You could do it in an early 2000s new metal fashion, whatever it may be. As long as you scream out the weather, you get tickets to go see Papa Roach, Rise Against, and Underoath live at the Maverick Center Thursday, April 3rd. Like I said, you can also sign up through the apps as a secondary option, but most importantly, listen for that cue to call at any point throughout this week, any point throughout this day, all throughout the week. Listen for that cue to call, be caller 15, and Papa Scream the Weather for those tickets. Of course, the entire radio prep is all about St. Patrick's Day. Yeah. If you're celebrating St. Patrick's Day today with a pint of green beer, it should be safe. Most health officials have concluded that the dye is not any worse for you than the alcohol itself. Green dye number 3 is safe to use and permitted to be used here in the U.S., even though it is banned in some other countries. Sorry to those other countries. No green beer for them, I guess. But like I said at the beginning part of the show, don't be dumb. Be smart. If you're going to celebrate, make sure to get a ride. Get a ride with Uber, some friend that's 100% sober. Don't be that person. Most people don't listen nowadays, and for some reason, it's still a big issue that people still feel the need to drink and drive. Like, I'll be fine. No. Get a ride. Be smart about tonight. I'm going to be staying in, I think. After I'm done here at work, my back's killing me today. I feel like such an old man saying that. Here's my first world problem. You ready for this? On Saturday, I got Taco Bell. It's my go-to fast food place. I get their medium Pepsi as part of the Lux Cravings box. And I think what happens, because this has been a big issue, not only with Taco Bell, but every fast food place when I order through the app. I don't think it was Taco Bell. I think it was Arby's on Saturday that I went to where this happened. But every single time I order a medium drink and I order like a Coke or a Pepsi, it'll say MED space Coke or Pepsi. And I think the associate there will see the D Coke or D Pepsi and assume it's Diet Pepsi and give me Diet Coke or Pepsi, which I, for some reason, cannot have. I have my mom's genes to where when she has sucralose or any artificial sweetener, it messes with her nerve endings, and it messes with mine, too. And I stupidly just drank the Diet Coke. I'm like, one shouldn't be an issue, right? Well, sure enough, today I'm walking around with a limp like an old man. It's awful. So I was going to try to go to the gym tonight, but I'll see if I can even make it into my front door walking properly. If I can't, well, I'll skip the gym today. That's a valid excuse, right? Well, here's a pretty wild one for you. A man was just awarded $50 million after suing Starbucks for an alleged hot tea incident. Yeah, you heard that right, hot tea. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, maybe a coffee spill, but tea, well, apparently this tea wasn't just piping hot. It was more like a molten lava situation. The guy claims the lid on his tea popped off, spilling the scalding liquid all over him, resulting in some pretty serious burns. Now, here's the kicker. You ready for how much money this guy got? $50 million in damages. $50 million, serious cash for a tea-related accident. I mean, why didn't I ever think of suing my coffee shop for the time they gave me too much foam, something like that in LA? Something stupid, right? But the real question is, how does a lid just pop off like that? What kind of tea were they serving? It sounds more like a user error. If I'm not, when you drive, I feel like a lot of people, because I've worked with the drive-thru many times, many years. A lot of people like to check their food, check their drinks, take the lids off. I'm sure this dummy decided to pop the lid to see if he got the right tea, and then just spilled all over him. Now, I'm just assuming things. Now, I didn't see the actual video of it happening, but Starbucks looks like they didn't even try to settle. They took this all the way to the court. They were thinking, hey, if we're going down, we might as well take down the entire hot beverage industry with us. The guy's getting a ton of money out of this. I mean, could you imagine being a multi-millionaire just because tea spilled on your lap and you got some burns? Imagine being the Starbucks employee who gave him the drink and just lost the company that much money. And this right here is your Shot Clock Sports Update. A flamin' hot Cheeto that's shaped like Michael Jordan's famous Jumpman logo has hit the auction block. Jumpman Cheeto is 3 inches long, inside a plastic case that also has a replica of the 1985 Nike photo that launched the logo. The auction runs through March 29th. I'm sure that will sell for a ton of money. Again, if you're eating chips, make sure to check them. If they're shaped like any prolific figure out there, sell it on eBay right away. The Atlanta Dream owner, Larry, oh my goodness, how do you say this guy's last name? Gotzendiener, announced that the team's May 22nd home opener against Caitlin Clark in the Indiana Fever was moving from the Gateway Center Arena, which fits 4,000 fans, to State Farm Arena due to a scheduling conflict at Gateway. Many basketball fans made fun of the team's quote-unquote scheduling conflict excuse and figured it was just a way to sell more tickets to see Clark play. But the team wasn't kidding about the conflict. The Clayton County Public Schools have scheduled 4 high school graduations for May 22nd at the Gateway Center. 4 graduations and the crush of fans wanting to see Caitlin Clark play would be just a bit too much for one arena. Now, there's controversy brewing as the X Games have banned electric motocross bikes. Competitors wishing to enter the motocross events at the X Games must ride gas-powered bikes. Things will very likely change in the future, but for now, the organizers are attempting to maintain a level playing field until they can sort out exactly what to do with the differences between EV bikes and the old school versions. That does it for your Shot Clock Sports Update right here on K-Bear 101. Well, I think this was one of my sister's favorite stores back in the day. I think she just occasionally shopped there. I think, again, but Forever 21 filed again for bankruptcy, the second time in 6 years, this time for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, bringing the brand that helped pioneer the low-price, on-trend retail model for fast fashion closer to shutting down hundreds of stores across the country. Is there even one here in the area? I haven't paid attention to them because, well, I don't shop there myself. You think they're going to carry a 3XL in men's clothing? I don't think so. But it does suck to see a store like this going out. I mean, there's this really cool one back at home. Their entire wall is a bunch of lights, and it changes colors. It's very distracting when you're on the freeway like the 405, where you drive and you see this bright, what looks like to be a party going on to the left. Everyone's all distracted, going, "Ooh, pretty colors." Next thing you know, they're in an accident. I wonder if some other store is going to take up that space there. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like everything's going to be going online. That's the thing that sucks. Forever 21's website and stores will remain open while the company begins winding down operations, seeks a buyer for some or all of its assets. Right now is the perfect time if you want some cheap clothing and you can fit into Forever 21 clothing. You might as well go to their location. Is there one here in the area? I need to look this up. Forever 21 near me. I see a Rue 21. That's the first thing that pops up. You might just have to shop online to take advantage of their bankruptcy deals. It must be real bad when the National Guard gets deployed. Devastating series of tornadoes and severe weather swept through multiple U.S. states from Thursday to Sunday, resulting in at least 40 deaths. The most significant casualties occurred in Missouri, 12 deaths, Mississippi 6, Alabama 3, Arkansas 3, road accidents caused by dust storms. Killed 8 in Kansas, 4 in Texas. I'm sorry for being such a letdown on a Monday or such a Debbie Downer on a Monday. Fast-spreading wildfires in Oklahoma that killed at least 4 people, destroyed more than 200 homes. I saw those pictures of that dust storm, man. It's crazy. It's wild how weird weather can be. The storms caused widespread destruction, thousands of homes damaged, leading to extensive power outages. The National Guard was deployed in Arkansas. Federal assistance on standby to support the affected regions. The National Weather Service issued warnings advising residents to avoid seeking refuge in vehicles or under trees due to the risks posed by the storm. My friend Hunter, he loves storm chasing. He lives in Terre Haute, Indiana, out of all places. And he was like, I'm going to go storm chasing tonight. And he got some great pictures of the tornado. At least he's having fun with it, right? Yet another one of those stories popped up about a specific person returning this very overdue library book. There's no due date when it comes to doing the right thing, is the first sentence of this article. So a public library in New Jersey has forgiven the family of Mary Cooper for hanging on to an overdue book for 99 years. Yeah, the 81-year-old says she was going through her mother's old belongings when she found an old book which had been taken out of the Ocean County Library. The book, titled Homemade Toys for Girls and Boys, it was due back at the library March 31st, 1926. The library told her the later fee, adjusted for inflation, would likely amount to about $18,000. But luckily for her, the library had already gotten rid of the late fees several years ago. Her library was happy to have the book back, and it's since been put on display for visitors to look at. Not check out, but to look at. I guess that's what comes out of this story. I mean, I see stories like this all the time that pop up on the radio prep. Some guy delivered the book back to the library over 100 years later. At that point, it's yours, right? right? Well, we have another one of those articles talking about an asteroid potentially heading towards Earth. This one they can't really see or detect because of the sun, apparently. A city killer asteroid is what they're calling it. Could be hurtling towards Earth, but going completely undetected. A space agency chief has warned humanity has only just recovered from the near miss of asteroid YR4, which threatened to blow a huge hole into the Earth's crust. That one, they were trying to say, was the equivalent to 8 billion kilos of TNT, scientists calculated. But there could be another asteroid like it or worse lurking in our blind spot. An astronomer has warned the problem is we still don't have the tech to let us search the space between the Earth and the sun because it's simply too bright. To get around the issue, the European Space Agency is building a cutting-edge planet defense system that will boost our space vision. That's pretty unique, right? Luca Converci, an ESA scientist, told The Sun there's a chance that something the size of YR4 is approaching from the sun, but we just haven't detected it. Which city do you think it's going to head towards, huh? That could be a great to peach their own question. What city is the asteroid going to... No, never mind. Forget that dumb joke. If you're not into college basketball, the NCAA March Madness tournament begins this Thursday, March 20th. And luckily, Josh from Classy 97, he has been nice enough to organize this entire thing within the office to basically have a little bracket competition between me, him, Josh, our new GM, Kevin, I think. There's going to be a few of us trying to see who can nail the perfect bracket. Of course, that can't happen. Hasn't happened, but we now have the tool of AI. I feel like maybe I should spend the $20 on Chat GPT 4.0 and just ask it, hey, out of this bracket right here, after evaluating all the schools, all the players' stats, how their team has been all year long, which team do you think will end up on top? And I'll probably have ChatGPT do its own bracket, but under my name. So that way, if it is 100% perfect, I could just be like, oh, you know what? I knew it all along. I know my basketball. No one really does. This thing's all about luck. Everybody in the office here could try their absolute hardest, and somebody who doesn't know basketball at all could win the entire thing. That's the beauty of March Madness. When checking out of a hotel room, it's always a good idea to do a once-over and make sure you're not leaving something important behind, like a phone charger, your medications, maybe even your pet alligator. Yeah, police in Michigan, they were called to a motel in Pine Rivers after cleaning personnel entered a just-vacated room, found a 3-foot alligator just lounging under the bed. Now, cops figured out that the gator's name is Wally, and he belongs to a man who owns multiple exotic animals and brings them to elementary schools for demonstrations. He told police he knew Wally was missing, but thought he had somehow gotten away from him. He didn't realize he left Wally at the motel. Police held on to Wally until he could be reunited with his owner, which is good. He got back to its original owner. I just can't imagine forgetting something as crucial as a pet, maybe even your own kid. There was a family friend years ago that forgot their daughters at softball practice and just took off. And I still, to this day, wonder what exactly was going through that dad's mind to forget his own children. I don't think we'll ever know. Now, this is one of those real stories where I feel like it could be a great Netflix drama if they executed it correctly. This research group trapped at a small base in Antarctica. I always have a tough time saying that word, Antarctica. They are fearing for their safety after a team member allegedly attacked and threatened to kill a colleague. Yeah. This team of 10 scientists from South Africa, they're stuck at this base. They could be there for several months due to extreme weather conditions, making it almost impossible to get in and out of the area. One of the group members sent an email claiming a colleague had attacked and made threats to kill another member of staff. Isn't that pretty wild? You wonder how it's going to happen? I feel like everything should be just fine there. They'll find out who it is. It's almost like real life Among Us. Or what's that classic film? 10 Little Indians? No, it's not that one, is it? I forgot which classic one it is, but it kind of reminds me of like a Knives Out, Glass Onion type thing. Thanks for listening to Peach's Pit Party, the podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please share, subscribe, and rate the podcast. Peach's Pit Party is hosted by me, Peaches, aka Brendan Peach, and is a production of Riverbend Media Group. For more information or to contact the show, visit riverbendmediagroup.com. Until next time, Peach out.